Okay, hello everybody. Today we are going to be doing a podcast about what it means be to come of age. So here we have Wyatt, who is going to be the person who is coming of age.
Bonjour,
Say hello.
comment ça va?
This is an English class anyway. So I'm going to be asking you questions, and yeah, let's get right into it. So first question, what makes you you?
What makes me me? What makes Revy, and Wyatt? Well, I would say what makes me me is my personality, my mentality, and my physicality. I don't know. Three main parts. Personality wise, I would say I at least try to be witty, but a lot of the time I miss the target like by
Yeah.
5 miles. Um, I try to be like comforting and fun to be around, which is mostly successful. So we take that. What other things make up my personality? Let's see. The stupid things I do. Does that count as a personality trait?
I'd say it does, yeah, being a goofy goober.
So I'm
Um,
pretty goofy. I'm not. I'm like. I'm not gonna say like I'm not your average guy, but I'm not like trying to fit in. I'm not trying to fit into like the crowd of like groups of people. I'm just trying to be the best person I can be. Because I'm not looking to be someone else. I'm looking to be myself. And let's look into like the second part of it. My mentality. My mentality usually is I would say pretty good. Like what I
mhm.
mean by pretty good mentality is like when things arise, I usually am able to talk things out with people, and I usually like when things go like onto me, and I can't really just deflect it and like talk things out. I usually keep my head held up high for the most part. Um, and my physicality, well, I'm not exactly fit, but I'm fine with where I am. I'm not gonna shame
Nice.
myself, and I'm not worried about how people think of me because of my looks. I'm fine with being me.
Nice. That's very mature and respectable. Um, so another question I have is what do you believe and what factors have shaped your beliefs as you've grown up?
Well, let's see. What do I believe? I am Christian, so obviously I believe in Jesus and Christianity and all of the above. And the factors that shape my beliefs as I've grown up are like my family. My family is not extremely religious, like we're not like crazy off the charts, but we are very Christian. We try our best. Like my grandmother especially, she's every time I come with a problem to her, she's usually able to associate with God, and when I talk to God or pray, in other words, I'm able to get a little bit of weight off my shoulders knowing that God is there to help me. So, and not only that, I used to have some good Christian friends online. Unfortunately, I do not talk to them anymore because of online drama. Whoopee. But that's what factors have shaped what I believe in.
So you say that your friends and family have shaped your beliefs the most, more than anything else?
I would say so, but if we're going to smaller factors, let's take the internet for example. Like sometimes when I'm be scrolling on like YouTube or something, there will be like a video on Christianity or like um this thing about God or like you know how sometimes people scroll on TikTok, there occasionally be like a short or like a TikTok on um like quotes on God, and I'll watch through those entire things because it makes me feel good about myself and it reminds me that God is always there to help me. So
Nice.
there's a lot of things that shape it, but those are like the main 2/3 factors if you count friends and family as separate.
Okay, so are there any like specific experiences that have shaped your beliefs about yourself and the world around you?
Are we counting online or does it have to be real life?
Both.
Okay. So if we're looking into online experiences, which is where I have a lot of my social experience from, like I mentioned that drama a little bit ago. The people that I was in a huge fight with were also Christian, so even when they got really mad at me and eventually they separated from me, they still told me to follow God, no matter like what. And those really stuck with me because the impact like they had on my life for that time period, which was I'll say November to June or something, that really changed me as a person.
Nice. So, what would you say that, so what or who do you stand for in your life
I
if
defend
someone was like
Christianity.
insulting them or
I
it?
defend Christianity. If anybody tries to insult Christianity, then like there's this one guy I see that's like he goes on about like there's atheists that come up to him and try to like deny God in every single shape and form, and then he'll be able to dissolve their arguments. So if an atheist just comes up to me, starts ranting about how God isn't real and all that, then I try to take a note out of his book, and I'll defend like everything I can with that because, as in the Bible, it says you have to put God first before anybody. He's your true father and all that. Another thing I stand for is like people expressing themselves. Like I'm gonna be dead honest. About a year ago, I almost went bisexual. I'm not even half joking. Eventually, because of my religious beliefs, I basically took that part out of me. But I think LGBTQ and all that stuff, I don't think it's a bad thing. Like I'll defend it. Like people should be able to express themselves in new ways because with more and more things happening in the real world, people need to find a safe spot in their life. And if LGBTQ is one way to express yourself, then go ahead. Be gay, be bisexual, be lesbian, be transgender. I try not to offend anybody. And yeah, express yourself.
Nice. Um, so how would you say that in your experience that growing up and experiencing adolescence, being a teenager, impact or change your identity?
So, being like anything, how it changes my identity. So, like being a male person, how it changes like how people think of me. Um,
Well, more like how does like just being a teenager in general, how would you say that it's changed your identity, if at all?
oh, well, it's changed significantly. Like when I was younger, I used to think I had like I mean back when I was younger I had a lot of freedom. So when you become a teenager, when school starts to pop up, especially with homework and all that, you gotta start have to like step up your game a little bit. So now I still have a crap ton of free time. No way other way to put it. But when you really look at it, you start to realize like eventually you're losing more and more free time. So when it means to be a teenager is to grow up, learn how to manage your responsibilities, and not even just like losing your free time, but learning how to express yourself in new ways. Because you don't have all that free time anymore, you have to find new ways to express yourself. This could be like through LGBTQ, or it could be just making art, making music like I do. Like that's a big thing.
Yeah. Um, that makes sense. Um, and similar to that question, what are factors that help shape your identity? What and like what aspects of your identity do you control, and what aspects would you say are impacted by other people a lot?
So what factors kind of change me as a person?
Yeah, so like what factors change your identity specifically, like more than other like identity, parts of your
Well,
identity?
um put it very simply, we have friend groups. The people you hang around are the people you're going to become. That's just a simple fact right there. Like if you hang around tech nerds like I do, or video game players, then you're gonna become more of a video game player because you're gonna follow the pack. Even if
Tech
you don't
nerds
really,
feels targeted.
well, it's not bad to be a tech nerd necessarily, but like whoever you follow, you'll always
Yeah,
show some shadow of. You'll
yeah,
you'll be always casting casting a shadow would not make sense, but the point is whoever you hang around you will become. And for me, I ever since I was younger, I um got on Discord, and that's how I've been able to express myself with people who really like the game I like, which is called Splatoon. But that's besides the point. Factors that changed my life like the most are my friends, like the ever-changing friend group that I have, because drama always pops up, that's usually including me. That changes me a lot.
makes sense. Um, so apart from the obvious, and if you say 18, then I am leaving the call. When would you say a teenager becomes an adult?
It's not so much based off age. Your mentality, your like mental age is what really makes you an adult. If you as a person cannot handle the stress of like what the world has come at you, you're still a teenager. If you are able to start be able to express yourself and really like not be too stressed out about things, that's when you become an adult. Like who knows? I could become technically an adult at six, or not technically. Technically is incorrect. What makes you an adult is not your physical appearance. It's not like a number. It's what's in your mind.
Let's see. So next question, what would you say does it mean to belong, and how do you navigate the tension between your desire to fit in and your desire to be yourself? So like how do you balance fitting in and being yourself?
Well, one way I balance it is finding common ground with people is like step one to having a good friendship. And that way I found is video games. So when I go to, for example, the unofficial Smash Club sometimes, like that is what makes me a part of that group. Like that Smash Club makes my identity. But I also have like my own like kind of stuff with my online friend group, which we all play Splatoon. So I always like play Splatoon with them, and that's how I be myself. Like I would say I'm kind of like the leader of that friend group, so whatever happens, that friend group happens to me. And so far, I find a way to balance it is really easy, like to balance being myself, because you always have like music to express yourself. You have your like own projects to express yourself. Whatever your interests are, express you. Like for example, music. Like I make my own music. Nobody else in my general friend. I mean, I know I make like a very different type of music, and that's what makes me me. Like I found like making art and stuff. That's what makes me me, or that's part of my
Yeah.
personality. Anyways, next question.
What is the relationship between who you are, who others think you are, and who you think you'll become?
Oh man, this is a big one.
That's a
Um,
pretty big question, but
the relationship between
we gotta get some more runtime here.
so
Get those
relationship between
mid-roll
that.
lads in.
um, so what makes me me, or like a relationship between me and people who I think I am and who I eventually plan to be. What I think of myself now is just a high school student who's trying to excel and make a good friend group and trying to be around people. Um, I just see myself as kind of a nerd that chills a lot and does a lot of stupid things. Um, the relationship between that and who I think I am, like people think of probably like Mr. Anthony, how would you describe me in some form?
Pretty much the same thing as that.
Except probably much more negative things I could not say on a podcast like this.
Yeah,
Um,
that too. Um,
but
I probably wouldn't like most people like that don't know you that well probably wouldn't know that you're a nerd,
I mean, like
for
when
example.
people look at me, I feel like they just look at me like, oh, Nintendo nerd. Like back in my old elementary school, people just knew me as the Nintendo guy, and like you're always getting labeled by people, so it's no surprise because my love for Nintendo is like I don't know, it just
Unhealthy.
It's unhealthy, yes. Like I will buy their games and never touch them. That is how bad it can be. But um it's what I grew up with, and I really care for video games. And for the person who I want to be, I want to excel in school. I want to get like into college, maybe some university. Like I want to go through all that, and I want to become like a professional game designer. The only
Nice.
one of the only things I want to do is like go on Nintendo, work on the next big Mario game. That is a absolute dream I have. And while it might stay a dream, it kind of relates to how I think of myself, like an excelling student or attempting to excel, and
Yeah.
e- excelling person in life. And hopefully in the future, I'm able to have like a good family of people that will stick around for the rest of my lifetime.